This is a this is a public service announcement, and it's targeted at private and public institutions and individuals alike to warn against cyber warfare threats. The first question says, state a minimum of three potential security threats any organization may face. The first threat is insider threat. The second one is viruses and worms. And the third one is bonnets. What is insider threat? Insider threat. An insider threat arises when individuals within or closely connected to an organization, such as employees, contractors, or third party partners, misuse their authorized access to the network, whether intentionally or unintentionally, causing harm to the organization, to the organization critical systems or data. Often, insider threats stem from negligence. Employees who fail to follow company policy may accidentally expose sensitive information, for example, by emailing customer data to the wrong recipient, clicking on phishing links, or sharing login credentials. Other insider threats originate from external partners like contractors and vendors who also have access to internal systems. In some cases, insider threats may deliberately bypass security protocols for convenience or in misguided effort to boost productivity. More serious threats come from malicious insiders who intentionally circumvent cybersecurity measures to delete data, steal information for personal gain, disrupt operations, or otherwise damage the organization. The second security threat is viruses and worms. Viruses and worms are types of malicious software, also known as malware, developed to compromise an organization's systems, data, and networks. What is a computer virus? A computer virus is a harmful code that spread by attaching itself to legitimate programs, files, or systems. It typically remains inactive until triggered, either intentionally or accidentally by a user. Once activated, it can replicate and spread the infection without the user's or system administrator's awareness. In contrast, a computer worm is a self replicating program that does not need to attach itself to a host, program, or rely on human interaction to propagate. Its primary goal is to infect other network devices while staying active on the original host. Worms often exploit automatic system functions operating silently in the background. Once inside the system, a worm begins spreading immediately, targeting unprotected devices and networks. And the third one is Bonnet. Bonnet is a network of internet connected devices such as PCs, smartphones, servers, IoT devices that have been infected with malware and are remotely controlled by a threat actor called Bolt Master. Bonnet malware typically scan the internet for vulnerable systems to exploit. Once compromised, these devices are added to the network and used collectively to perform automated tasks, often without the knowledge of the device owners. Primary objective of the attacker is to compromise as many devices as possible, harnessing their computing power and bandwidth for malicious purposes. Criminals who operate bonnets commonly use them to distribute spam emails, carry out click fraud, and launch distributed denial of service attacks by overwhelmingly targeted systems with massive volumes of traffic. The second question says, describe appropriate countermeasures organizations may employ against security threats. Countermeasures that can be employed against insider threats. One, limit authorized account users to specific informations required to accomplish the attacks. Two, ensure regular security awareness training to all employees, both new and old, and contractors before granting network access, including education on both accidental and intentional insider threats as part of ongoing security training. Three, ensure that contractors and freelancers temporary accounts which set expiration dates. Sorry, I take that again. Ensure that contractors and freelancers are, are put on temporary accounts with set expiration dates aligned with the end of their contract. Also limit their rights on computer systems. Four, use two-factor authentication, which is MFA, multi-factor authentication, to enhance security by requiring users to verify their identity with an additional method beyond just a password. Five, deploy employee monitoring tools to detect and prevent data breaches or intellectual property theft by identifying negligence, disgruntled, or malicious insiders. Our organization can prevent viruses and worms. To minimize the risk of security threat from viruses and worms, organizations should install reliable antivirus and anti-malware software on all systems and connected network devices and ensure that these programs are regularly updated. Additionally, employees should be trained to avoid opening emails attachments, or clicking links from unknown senders, and to stay clear of downloading free software from untrusted websites. Users should also exercise caution when using peer-to-peer file sharing platforms and avoid clicking on online advertisements, especially those from unfamiliar brands or suspicious websites. How to prevent against bonnet attack. One, continuous monitoring network performance and activity to identify any unusual or suspicious behavior. Two, ensure that all operating systems are kept up to date with the latest versions. Three, regularly update all software and promptly install any required security patches. Four, train users to avoid risky behaviors that could lead to both infections or malware, such as opening emails, messages, attachments, or links from unknown or untrusted sources. Five, Use anti-bonnet solutions to detect and block bonnet-related malware. Most modern firewalls and antivirus programs also offer built-in features to help identify, prevent, and remove bonnet threats. The third question says, describe appropriate measures to be taken should a system compromise occur. Here are the steps to take if a system compromise occurs in a corporate environment. 1. Detection and analysis. Once an attack is noticed, it is very important for security team to carry out a visibility study of the entire attack surface, prevent attacker from further exploiting the system, and begin a recovery process immediately. 2. Identify the threats. Security team must identify the analyzed threats to understand the type of threat, the type of threat, tactics it may use, and the target it may seek, and the damage it may cause. 3. Contain the threat. Security team must act immediately to minimize the damage of the threat. It should not be allowed to spread to avoid uncontrollable damage. 4. Eliminate the threat. Unless a threat is totally eliminated, it can still cause damage. So it is important to work thoroughly from the point of total quarantine back to the point of intrusion, examining all affected systems. 5. Recover and restore. Security administrator should restore systems to normal operation using tools like data backup and recovery points and confirm there are no lingering security or performance issues. 6. Incident report and lesson learned. Establish the timeline, key events, exploited vulnerabilities, and damaged assets. Documenting everything thoroughly, then establish what went right and wrong, both through outside analysis and by interviewing those involved.